Here we go. So, thank you, Amy. Thank you. How do you say your name? Welohal
Yeah.
allora?
While hello, you can just call me Jack.
Jack.
Let's make
All
it
right.
easy.
Yeah, make it easy. Thank you for joining us for the same within the syndicate. So, what we and how I approach things here is like basically make a short introduction about yourself, the team, and then we can just jump straight into the project.
Sure. Maybe Emmy, you want to kick off with an introduction first?
Hi, my name is Emi Ksano. I'm from Tokyo, Japan. I am the one of the four co-founders of Shinsei Galverse. Shinsei Galverse is started by my best friend Ayaka and me, and we wanted to create original sci-fi anime for a long time. We love sci-fi anime such as Akira or Ghost in the Shell. We need more badass girls for sci-fi anime, so that's what Ayaka and I were thinking, and this is a project I started and with Devin and Jack and Ayaka. So
And what?
and
Like,
I'm
let me interrupt
previously
you here.
a
But
musician.
when did you start the project?
We are this Shinsei Galverse started last September.
Okay.
Jack and I are talking.
Yeah.
um, Actually, um, my son, 9 years old son,
Yeah, Zombie
uh,
Zoo.
at Zombie Zookeeper,
Yeah.
and his NFT project got viral, and Devin, co-founder, was the one of the owner of Zombie Zoo, and he asked me to let's do something together, and we started was last I think last October, September we started talking, and finally we are launching this soon, so we're
Yeah.
excited.
It's been a pretty long road already, but lots of work has been going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll introduce myself too, and I'll introduce our absent team members. But
Yep.
yeah, my name's Jack. I was the last member to join the team, and I'm helping Emmy out on partnerships and marketing and all sorts of things, and some of the English communications. My background is in like business development and marketing, and way back in the day, journalism and whatnot. And I spent a fair bit of time in Japan, so and grew up watching 80s, 90s anime. So it's the subject matter is very close to my heart. Then we have Devin, who is an old friend of mine. He met Emmy on FWB. I'm not sure if you know about FWB. It's a kind of art and culture NFT DAO. Um, and during the day, he works for big tech in San Francisco. So
Mm-hmm.
his day job at the moment is he's the head of design strategy at Dropbox, and in the past he's headed up big teams in like the YouTube VR group and Google and whatnot. Very clever guy. And then Emmy's best friend Ayaka, she's a self-taught animator and artist, and most of her work to date has been doing like music videos, animated music videos for big music acts in Japan. And part of Emmy's goal with this project was to introduce Ayaka's art to a global audience as well. So that's a big part of it.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And Emmy's very humble, but Zombie Zoo, this project she did with her son is it's like the mini Beeple of Japan. It's one of the most well known NFT projects over there, and
Mm-hmm.
there's videos of like Steve Aoki on Japanese TV showing his Zombie Zoo and stuff like that. So it's quite well known, and she's kind of the go-to, personality in Japan to talk about NFTs and PFPs and all that.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And I think we can jump into the Shinsei Galverse universe.
Sure. Emmy, do you want to talk a bit about the inspiration behind Galverse?
Yes. So Shinsei Galverse, uh, we started. So our inspiration is, so of course Ayaka and I are obsessed with all those sci-fi anime, but all of the like many of the sci-fi anime are kind of male perspective. So there's so many, sexy android girls or
Yeah.
like a tsundere pilot girl, like who have a crush on main character guy or something. So we kind of wanted to. We always wanted to have a badass girls like who we were watching when we were child, like magical girl kind of anime. So we wanted to mix the concept together, and also before Galverse in 2020, Ayaka and I made a music video together. So which was about anthem for women, and that music video theme was a retro gal game, like a thing like a love simulation game inspired theme, but at the same time we originally created Galverse prototype there. I think original Shinsei Galverse tweet just tweeted this morning, I think. Sorry, my English is kind of
Ah, you're
rough.
doing great.
Doing great. We understand everything you're saying, so there's
Yeah.
no problem.
And I'm
Take your
posting all the
time.
tweets for you, Emmy.
Thank you, Jacob. My mind was kind of a bit raw today.
It's early morning, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I think like this is something Emmy and I have talked about a bit. But yeah, this video she made in 2020, it kind of looks like a classic sort of pixel art, visual novel game. And a lot of those were like these, like she said, dating games where you're like the male character and there's a whole bunch of gals who are chasing after you. So Emmy and Ayaka's idea for that was to swap it around and,
Yeah,
and
revert the
put these,
tendency. Yeah. Like the
put
trends.
these
Yeah.
exactly. So put these badass girls at the center, and that's that kind of art style to a point, and also the message is really carried through into Galverse as well. So
Yeah, when I
that's great.
first entered the website and I saw like the like all the characters, my first thing was like, yeah, Sailor Moon girls power, let's go. Like some Sailor Moon vibes. That was great to see.
It's interesting because when I first saw it too, that's the exact same thing I thought, and also growing up with Dragon Ball and whatnot, I thought it looked like that. But it's interesting from Ayaka's perspective. Obviously the art looks a bit that way, but she's much more inspired by these like kind of badass male-centered sci-fi movies, like Emmy said, Akira and things like that. So it's sort of funny. The style maybe is Sailor Moon, but the vibe is much more cyberpunky and badass, I think.
And there's one motto like for the project which is like different from the space in general. Like we all say Wagmi, but you say Wagma. What does that mean?
I think Emmy, you can take the Wagma question.
Okay. So instead of Wagme, we say Wagma. We all gonna make an anime. So this is a slogan. So our goal is creating original anime series of Shinsei Galverse. So that's the slogan. Yeah, we are using Found for our animation creating. We are already talking to studios and stuff.
Yeah, and I guess to expand a little bit on that, something cool that Emmy's first project did, Zombie Zoo, is they recently signed a deal with Toei Animation. That's the studio behind Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball and all those classics. So
Okay.
they're making a Zombie Zoo anime. Galverse is a different project, so we'll be, that's not saying we've signed a deal on Galverse or anything, but really, the vision is, in hopefully 12 months' time or so, we'll do something similar, whether it's them or someone else. And our whole process, we're going to involve the community of Galverse holders on that, and we'll be taking votes and things from holders on like everything from character design and story to even like commercial decisions, like which publishers should we approach first, or if we're talking to more than one animation studio, who do we go with there, things like that. So it's sort of a mix of like Kickstarter vibes, like behind the scenes kind of stuff, and also taking part and holding part of that IP as well.
So you're telling me there's a chance if I have a Galverse, I can see my character in an anime show, right?
Yeah, I can't say what the odds are, but
yeah, but I mean, yeah, there's like 8,888. I think it's like quite complicated to put all them into.
So maybe not everyone will be featured. Yeah,
but maybe if you do many seasons and.
And we can talk a bit about the different gals and like their stories, but certainly like the intention is, these are the gals in that story universe, and those are the gals we'll be drawing on for the series. So that's the idea there. And I mean, Emmy, maybe you can talk about what was I even going to ask? Maybe you can talk about the story a little bit, like the mother and the brink and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So, Shinsei Galverse. Okay, I'm gonna find my script. So sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
You could even read off the website if you want, Emmy. We have it up there too.
And here maybe while waiting, a question from Huakai. Assuming that you can't find a partnership with a Japanese animation studio, would you try to animate the whole thing with your current team?
It's a really good question, and I was going to type an answer, but I forgot I'm on a voice stage, so I can just talk back about it.
Basically, don't worry about the question written. I'm gonna every time pick a time to read them up and.
Awesome. No, it's a really good question, and look, there are a couple of other projects that are like, talking about making an anime and probably with their own team, but to be honest, it's just like not possible. The amount of money and people you need to make an animation is actually huge, and it's been something we've talked about a lot. But like the actual anime series in Japan, it really doesn't make any money. Like the actual show itself, there's pretty much no money in it, and you need huge teams, like a lot of people, to make a full series. And
it's
where
everything like on the outside, like the goodies, the events that brings
exactly, like merchandise and things like that. Yeah, so often like a publisher will take all the rights to the merchandise, for example. They'll pay for production, but they then earn all the money on the merchandise side. So there's different ways those deals can happen, but pretty much like to get an anime made, you need a big publisher, or you need a studio, or you need to have huge amounts of money, like much more than an NFT project has raised from the initial sale. So unless you're like the Bored Ape Yacht Club at this point, it's impossible to do it just from that. So but on that side of things, like our plan is very long term. So we're not just going to do the sale and like run away with the money. What we've done is we've formed a Galverse company, and none of us really get anything on sale day. We've signed a contract with that company will be working for it like staff basically for at least we think we've got 2 or 3 years of runway. The contract we've signed is 4 years to get like equity in the company, so it's a bit like a tech startup. If you leave early, then you sort of don't walk away with it. So basically our efforts on top of just the normal roadmap, it's going to be 100% full-time dedicated to working on Galverse and turning it into an animation. That's the plan.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the memo. Sorry.
You find
That's
your
all right.
hands
Go
as
for it,
well.
Emmy.
May I talk about the lore of the world
Please.
these characters facing? Okay. So, in the last day of civilization on Earth, an information flare based on Mother System, and an artificial life form created by a woman named Asuka Wagami explode. The result of explosion, Mother split apart into 8,888 gals, turned into Mentor, which was then scattered and landed on the planet where the human live after leaving Earth. So each of them will complete their mission there. We included these missions to one of the NFT metadata for each characters as well. So this is a story.
And what did inspire you to create this mother?
I think I've read so many sci-fi novel, and also SF sci-fi Hollywood movie, and also anime. Like I have so many inspiration for that, and I think history. I like some. I like something database came artificial life is my style. Like I always fantasize about what if internet or data is alive. So I kind of mixed up for even Mother was based on artificial intelligence. So Mother system used to be a super highly artificial intelligence on the earth, and everybody rely on Mother system. But it explode and then become this is very hard to explain in English.
That's all right. Well, maybe you can talk like the decentralized sort of metaphor there, Emmy.
Was also inspired by Web3 system. So I want to write about decentralization. So Mother system was used to be a perfect, like almost perfect system, like everyone relies on. So Mother system, people, politicians, and governance are really rely on Mother system, but it has so much problem because Mother system prioritize human a lot. So that way, like not really good situation, like bad environment stuff. So it's become spread into 8,888 gals. So this idea is a kind of metaphor of Web3. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I like about the structure of the story too is that it kind of allows anyone holding a gal, if they want, if they're into it, they can sort of build on that gal's story themselves. Like, each of them have their own sort of life and little story they'll have out there. And we provide a few prompts. We haven't spoken so much about metadata yet, but we took some inspiration from CryptoCoven, which I'm sure you've seen, and they all have unique names and unique descriptions and mottos and things like that. So we've done something similar where each gal has a pretty unique name, story, and then a few other little things. And I hope with that, it's not like very specific, but it's something that will give people a prompt to kind of breathe a bit more life into their gal and tell a story themselves. And again, maybe be part of the anime or something in the future. So that's part of the plan there too.
All right. There's a question here. Like I'm gonna just reread the question. You might have already answered because it's recorded, so the people that can't be
Sure.
there can listen to those. Is there going to be a second collection where you can transform our Galverse in the style of Sailor Moon?
It's a good question. We've been very careful not to do anything too Sailor Moon. I've seen a lot of collections get taken down with the MCA and whatnot, so we're very purposely steering clear of that. But we've got so many ideas on the back end that haven't been put in the roadmap. Just things we think are cool, and some of those are like follow-on collections. Again, none of this is confirmed. I think we need to decide on the coolest stuff. But it could be like some villains for the Galverse universe, or it could be the planets that get airdropped to you that your gal has landed on. Recently, we've been doing some special one-of-ones for friends of the project, not just influencers, but just interesting people out there. And some of them have asked for different colored hair or gradient hair and things like that. And even those sort of little interactions, we do a custom one, and then we think it'd probably be cool if people could do that themselves. We've seen some projects where you get a potion and transform your character. So
Okay.
I mean, we're doing all sorts of interesting ideas there. And Devin in particular, he loves messing around with smart contracts and coming up with wacky ideas. So we're also thinking of interesting ways to connect different NFT communities and also different ways NFTs can interact. So what if Zombie Zoo and Gal could transform into a new, or combine and create a new NFT where a gal has a Zombie Zoo pet or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also building some special tools where different communities can talk to each other from their own discords and things like that. So I don't know, we got so many experiments and fun things. I think once the sale is done, we're going to have a lot of time on our hands, and we're going to get really creative and do some interesting things together.
And since you're talking about communities and collaboration between those, is there with any other community, did you do partnership where they have a special trait on their one of the Galverse, or is it some?
It's a great question. Most of the special traits, because Ike has been working on the art for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it was done before we actually started publicizing the project and pushing it out there. So most of the special traits are more inspired by other anime. There's some nods to Akira and Ghost in the Shell and things. We've done a lot of collaborations, just simple things, even mintless giveaways with some cool communities. So some of those it would be Raid Party, Mechaverse, groups like your own. We're hoping to of course give some spots to, and then we've done a few special traits for
because I can really think about a Galverse with a syndicate mask,
Yeah, it's a great idea. Unfortunately, I would love to do it, but unfortunately, it's the art's been shipped off to the developers for testing. But maybe we can do a special one for you guys to keep in the vault.
I'm just planting a seed,
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe it would look good on a gal villain, I think, as well. So maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But
Many people also request to make a Galverse.
What? Sorry.
Galverse.
A male version.
Okay.
I'm not sure that would fit with the original vision, Emmy. But who knows?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I think Galverse is very like it's very beautiful art created by Ayaka, but at the same time, like we love 90s animes style, like such as we have a mysterious ball, like we call mysterious ball, so which is extremely huge earring, uh, physically impossible. So that kind of things are, we have so many funny stuff, like thinking about like the parody of like internet meme, and also like Galverse can be wacky style, I guess. Like Jack, can you explain this?
Could you ask me one more time, sorry, Amy?
Sorry, like yeah, Galverse has a flexibility to make funny stuff.
Yeah. This is something we were talking about in our team meeting like a couple of days ago. Like, we love projects like Azuki, which is obviously gone crazy, and that's very much inspired by like anime style, more modern stuff like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and modern anime and things. But like their brand is so cool that they're kind of locked into things. They can only do cool stuff, whereas like Galverse is a bit funky and a bit wacky, so it gives us a lot of freedom, I think, to do playful things and creative things that maybe some of those cool projects don't necessarily have the freedom to do, I think. So we'll get a little wackier than some of these other ones.
Okay, nice. A question here from Kev asking about like the Your Stuff tab on the website. Would you be able to give us an estimate how long after the min we can have like those things available? And suppose.
Yeah. Sorry, is there a second part too? I lost the question.
Yeah, and there's like supposed to be start after the 25% sale goal.
Yep. Yeah, so some of those things we're actually already working on, to be totally honest with you. I know it's like a roadmap that says it's only if we hit a certain goal, but we've got an amazing dev team who have worked on some really cool projects already. We haven't publicized them yet just because we don't want anyone digging through contracts and finding any vulnerabilities. Of course, we're auditing everything, but they're already working on some of the next features. So stuff like the gallery and your stuff, we've seen some mock-ups and like early versions of that. And, I don't know the exact timing, but from memory, it's like, even less than a month after the sale, and probably a bit less than that. And then, going down the page, like things like the Galverse soundtrack, Emmy didn't mention, but she's a musician as well. And she's already recorded a demo of like the first song. We put a teaser up of that, which I'll try and find somewhere to post in the chat. So that's underway. Like the manga will have hopefully monthly drops of like pages of the manga. So we're working pretty hard on all of this stuff already, but it means that the next 12 months should be pretty exciting, I think, and we're pushing very hard. So
all right. Here a question from Daddy. Dad jokes. Are you scared that you might have missed the meta of the space, since anime profile picture was like 2 months ago with Lives of Azuna and Killer Girlfriends, for example?
It's another great question. We actually just talking to the Lives of Asuna team. We started last night, so we might be doing a little collab with them too. But when those projects were really taking off, it's kind of just shortly after we started sort of publicizing the project. And, we had some friends tell us, like, just, you got a lot of the art done, just get it out there, whatever you got, and hit the meta. But Emmy and Ayaka in particular have been really working on Galverse for a long time already by then. And they had a really clear vision of what they wanted. So we basically said, like, we could chase the meta and we could put out something that we're not 100% happy with, but maybe it'll perform better in the short term, who knows. But our feeling was like, let's just make a great project, let's put as much work into it as we can and deliver exactly what they wanted. to do in the first place, and hope that we can move past the meta and just release a cool project. Yeah.
When you talk about the Life of Sazuna collab, maybe you might reach Azuki also to do like a special thing. Could be.
I'd love to do that. I think they're on we're still early days compared to them.
If they love to do that, like we are definitely.
It's a tough one, right, Emmy? Because we're still a small fish. So a big project like that usually likes to partner up with big established things as well.
Yeah, but if you're an exotic and rare fish, that might interest you,
Yeah, of course we believe that we deserve a collaboration, but let's see what they say.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, maybe can you do like a recap on the mint date and price, and how many Galverse will be available? Because
sure. So we haven't announced the exact date, but I can tell you it'll be we're aiming for around the 13th or 14th of this month, so it's pretty soon. We're aiming a little earlier, but we just want to make sure everything's totally tested and done 100%, and all our stuff is set up. So just a couple of weeks away from now. Price is going to be 0.07 ETH for pre-sale or public. We'll publicize all the dates and times on Twitter and everything. And there'll be 8,888 girls for the sales. So, and that number is like in Japanese. If you say 8888, it sounds like pachi pachi pachi, which is their sound for clapping. So it's like, that's a little Easter egg. It just means applause. But we decided that was important enough to, sell 1,000 something less than a lot of other projects. But that's our plan. The team will reserve some tokens, just as giveaways and things like that. But we're being super transparent and honest. The whole team is doxed. We're going to publish kind of all the mechanics and everything. We won't know the order of the tokens either. So like apart from the first 6, which are sort of the founding team and a couple of guys from Emmy's company that have been helping us, they're all going to be randomized. So, generally speaking, we're not going to take part in the sale anyway, but, we won't be able to tell people like buy one now because it's a rare token or anything. We're trying to make it just transparent and fair the whole way through. That's a big part of the...
Talking about rarity, like how many 101 is going to be in the collection?
It's a good question. Ayaka's gone so crazy with traits. There's like... If you're combining all the different layers, there's over 2,000 pieces of art, in this thing. So, some of those are color variations. Like one clothing outfit might have like 4 different colors or something, but it's just a huge amount of art. And it means sort of naturally there are, rarer traits than others. But I think almost all of them will look like totally unique. There's a heap of variation in this, and then of course, there are some very special items.
We have 4,000 tools for creating, right? Yeah. And hair itself even spread into 3 layers, and I think we have one of the most complicated layered narrative correction. I guess it's all beautiful. Like if you see all the 8,000 gals, it's mind blowing. Like each gal has a really unique, and Ayaka really wants to make every girl beautiful. So
do you have maybe any sneak peek to show us?
Yeah, I can drop something.
That we didn't see on the Twitter.
Yeah, let me find one. I got so many, when we were doing the art audit, we went through just to make sure every gal looked amazing, and I was saving all the ones that I really liked just to keep them handy. And let me find one cool. This one's pretty neat. It's got a bit of a Sailor Moon-y vibe, just for you guys. So a bit like some projects, we have like a few kind of rare, skin tones like aliens and robots and things like that. And then we've got like a nice diverse kind of set of sort of natural skin tones, and then all sorts of wild variation. And like, even though the art kind of looks simple and it's this old school kind of nostalgic
like the
sort of
1890 with the mysterious ball, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like, actually, the rules behind it are very complex. Like Emmy said, there's 3 layers to hair. So like that ponytail's one, the hair on the head is one, those strands down behind the ears are another one. Earrings, different face accessories, and the clothes and whatnot. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and then there's heaps of other layers that this one isn't showing. But it's a lot of hard work and a lot of love has gone into it.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Last question. I've read your roadmap. Just wondering if you guys had any ideas as how you'll be trying to utilize the NFT aspect of the space to bring value to the holders.
It's a good question. I mean, I guess bring value and utility and things like that are always sort of tough questions to answer because it means different things to different people. And like, to be honest, half the time people are talking about utility, I have no idea what they're on about. But I think actually, I wouldn't mind if you wouldn't mind like elaborating a bit on what you're hoping with bring value. Like, is it sort of a floor question, or what's your primary interest there, if you don't mind typing? Yeah, we do. Like I said, I think we've got a lot of interesting ideas about sort of cross NFT work, and I think that's something that hasn't really been touched on by a lot of people. Like, collaborations can be just like, sometimes they just airdrop a piece of art, which, we'll do things like that, but often, derivative projects or like derivative tokens or airdrops don't really hold much value in the end. So yeah, like you just mentioned, art airdrops. So we are doing things like that, and we've already got some artists lined up to do like collaboration airdrops out there. But we want to think about ways to, I guess, connect Galverse to other projects. Like I said Zombie Zoo because it's Emmy's project, so that's an easy one. But are there other projects we can collaborate with where you combine things in new and interesting ways? And like, one recent example I saw, which we really love, was creatures. I don't know if anyone's kind of had a look at Creature World lately, and they did this traveling creature concept where you got sent an NFT by someone, the traveling creature, and then you send it on, and you get airdropped a piece of art, which is like your 2 creature PFPs kind of interacting with each other, like in a nice little meeting sort of piece of art. I thought that was awesome, and certainly things like that I think are cooler than just like an airdrop, like something that involves your actual NFT. So like, even in the Discord now, people are saying like, wouldn't it be cool if you could team up 3 gals to fight a villain or something, and like you get airdropped a piece of art where it's your where you're like 3 gals are fighting this villain, and you'll get a copy of that kind of thing. And we like that sort of driving
the
story.
Villain.
Yeah, that's it. You'll be the bad guy, the Atom Boy. Nah, but I think that kind of thing, like, again, it's hard to define utility and it's hard to define value, but like, if you're creating something cool that's building on the world and telling a story, I think that's really sort of the direction we're looking. On top of, hopefully the anime, which will obviously drive some value into the IP and the brand. I don't know if that was a good answer, but
I think so. Yeah, a really good answer. Let me check if you guys have any other question. Cabbage asking, any chance AMA listener got whitelist?
What do we got? We got 20 people. I think we can do that. Adam Boy, if you're happy to.
Yeah, I'm just taking a screenshot right now. Let's go.
Wonderful.
And
right on.
let me check if I have the screenshot, because if no, okay, I have. I'm gonna be beaten up by the agents. So
Yeah, got to get it right.
all right.
No,
so,
we appreciate everyone listening in for sure.
So guys, awesome. Yeah, a big thank you to you, because that's 20 on top of they're also offering us with the raffle 50 more, which means a total of 70 whitelist spots. So that's a big thank you.
No, that's awesome. We love talking to communities and getting to know everyone, and obviously we love our projects, so we like talking about it. It's really the least we can do for people taking time out of their day.
And do you need me for just like have the Discord handled, or do you need the whitelist also, the wallet address also?
If you can do
Both?
wallet address too,
Okay.
yeah, that'd
I'll
be
do
great.
that. I'll create a thread with all the guy here, and I'll
Awesome.
transfer that to you in DMs.
Thanks so much. And yeah, when you join your Discord, we're working on our Discord a little bit this week, because it's been pretty simple. We've done this interesting approach where it was for mid-listed people only to begin with, and still at the moment. That's because we're a small team. We just had so much work to do. We didn't want to moderate all sorts of crazy people, but it's worked really well, and it's growing, getting more active. But we're building all sorts of cool stuff this week. We're bringing on new mods this week, and our plan is
every day building in this space, every day, every minute.
I'm sure you know better than anyone, right? It takes a lot of work, but yeah, so that's getting more active, and it's getting more exciting too.
Just gonna ask one last time, the last call for the question, guys, and if you know, I think we can wrap it up. And once again, thank you for being here, both of you, Jack and Amy. It was amazing. And
thank you.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for waking up early, Emmy. I know it was a early start for you.
No. Sorry, my English was kind of rough today. Sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone.
I always say, Emmy, that your English is better than my Japanese, so you're doing a wonderful job.
Okay, and I have one last, we have that here. You want me to read the joke, so let's go. I used to play piano by ear, now I use my hands.
Amazing.
We can finish on that, I think.
Oh dear. Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Really appreciate you listening in.
Thank you. See you. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.